Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my video where today we'll be taking on the brand new 4.6 Spiral Abyss with the one and only ARLECCHINO. Now, we will be playing her on a Mono Pyro team. I should point out, however, that my ARLECCHINO is C1 and she is also in Jadewing Spear, but to make up for it, she isn't on her Best in Slot artifact set, and her talents are far from maxed out. And also, if you do want to see a more F2P ARLECCHINO build in team, in 2 days' time, I will have my first attempt at this Abyss, which I did blind completely, where I ran her in an overvape team using Favlons and even more scuffed artifacts than I have on her right now. So if you want to see that, be sure to stick around. But in today's video, we will be trying to max out her potential. We will be, like I said, we will be using a Mono Pyro team with kazuha here. And then we will, on the second half, we will be doing an ALHAITHAM Quick Bloom team with ALHAITHAM, furina, yaoyao, and kuki. Now, as always, character builds will be at the end of the video, so you can go look at those if you want. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, and here we are in the first chamber. Now, a little thing I learned is if you run back just a little bit before going forward, you will be able to stop the blue guy from dashing forward, and this way, we've managed to get all three of them to nicely group up. Now, we are just going to do our regular rotation here, so mark them with ARLECCHINO, bennett burst into xiangling burst into just a quick kazuha E, and okay, we're doing nearly 100k on our ARLECCHINO. We did between 80 to 98k on all of them. And, you know, this team's just really nice because we just get a hell of a lot of pyro particles. So, you know, without a shielder, I can just heal whenever I need. So we don't need to bring a shielder and we can bring kazuha instead. You know, he's also on Fav. So there's just a lot of batterying going on in this team, which is why I like ARLECCHINO Mono Pyro so much. We literally cleared that in 30 seconds. So, you know, if you have any doubts about ARLECCHINO or the Mono Pyro variant, then there's your answer, because you really shouldn't. Now, we are here on the second half, and the one thing I will say is it would actually have been really nice if I had a Nahida instead of a yaoyao, but unfortunately I don't have Nahida on this account. Just because, since there's so much AoE involved in the first two chambers of second half, then, you know, it just would have been really nice to have had the mark on all of them, but luckily these guys grouped up for us. So, you know, no complaints there. You know, this floor can be really annoying considering the fact that, you know, you kind of want Hydro to get rid of the shield, and then you also want, like, probably Pyro, but, you know, although both chambers really want you to have, like, Pyro and Hydro, I find Quick Bloom to actually be a very good solution, so that you can run Pyro on the first half and then not on the second half. Now, this is where Nahida would be really nice, because although I have 90 seconds to kill both these guys, they are incredibly annoying with how much they teleport. Like, these are, unironically, like, probably my least favorite enemies which aren't bosses in the game. Like, I hate the Fatui operatives so much. Luckily, we are doing decent damage to them, and we have managed to group both of them up here. But one of the other annoying things is that they just fly in the air. Originally, I was trying this with a ARLECCHINO overload team with, like, or more of an overwave with Xingqiu, Beidou, and Fischl, and they just kept flying in the air, and I just couldn't keep them together. So yeah, luckily here they are staying relatively close to each other. I'd say this is actually a pretty fortunate run. And like I said, although there's 50 seconds left and they're very low, you know, people might think, oh, you know, let me save ults, which I am going to do. But first of all, I'm going to make sure I heal so I don't die, because these guys do absurd amount of damage sometimes, like unexpectedly. And then also they are way tankier than they appear at first. Although we do clear with 30 seconds left, which is obviously nice. A lot of that is thanks to our ARLECCHINO first half, but, you know, even if our ARLECCHINO first half was, like, slower, let's say we cleared in, like, a minute instead of 30 seconds, we still would have been able to freestyle this floor pretty handily, so yeah. For Chamber 2, we get yet another normal attack bonus, which is very handy for our ARLECCHINO. I hope maybe we'll even be able to hit 100k. Actually, no, because these guys have pretty high resistances. Unless they get disabled, and we won't be disabling them. Although I did see an 87k tick there, which was very nice. Our ARLECCHINO is hitting for quite a lot of damage. She is weak right now, but like I said, you know, we get a lot of pyro particles, so we can basically just ult on cooldown, which is, like I said, very useful. We should be able to 2-cycle this here, so we should clear it in about a minute, unless something goes very wrong. Now I am just trying to dodge a little bit more, because, yeah, these guys can do pretty big damage. So, yeah, okay, yeah, we are gonna end up clearing this in about 45 seconds-ish. I can just do a little bond of life there, and there we go. We've cleared in about 48 seconds. So, at least I think, yeah, that was 48 seconds, yeah. So 30 seconds and 48 seconds, if I say so myself, pretty good. Now, once again, this is another chamber where Nahida would have been lovely so that we could have linked these three guys together. But instead, we are just going to be relying on raw damage. So, yeah, I mean, the nice thing is that obviously, although these guys will go invisible, the Hyper Blooms will lock onto them. So, you know, you should have no problems fighting them there. Okay, there we go. But yeah, like I said, if you have Nahida, and Alhaitham, I would very much recommend you doing either or Baiju as well. Baiju works. Although for this specifically, I would actually prefer a Nahida here on Prototype Amber, mainly for what's about to come next. But yeah, if you have Alhaitham, just consider yourself in luck because you can do very good teams with Alhaitham right from the get-go. I mean, if you only have 4 stars, you can do like Xingqiu, Yaoyao, Kuki. If you have Baiju, you can do either furina, Xingqiu, Yelan, and then Baiju, Kuki. Or if you have furina, you can do and then, you know, furina and then either Nahida or Yaoyao or Baiju. You know, there's just so many possibilities you can do. Like so many different variants of Aggravate, Quick Bloom, Hyper Bloom, whatever you want. Anyway, what we do want to focus on here is making sure these guys are relatively close to each other, so that when we are hitting them, they do both take damage to their shield. Now, once again, I did say I would prefer Nahida here, and that's for one very simple reason, and that's because, you know, the little mark she applies would be very useful in taking down these guys' shield. This is actually taking a bit longer than I expected because, I mean, they're going to keep sapping our energy, so our Alhaitham isn't really going to have the chance to ult. We will be relying on 2 stacks instead of 3 stacks, although this means we won't have full uptime on our Dendro application. And it would be very nice if we were just to have the Nahida skill instead, because, you know, we could just spam that and then use Alhaitham's infusion whenever we can. We should still be able to clear this either way, but yeah, if you have a Nahida, this will go much easier for you. But yeah, we do still clear with 10 seconds to spare. And, you know, so far we've been able to first try all the chambers, which, you know, I am not going to complain about. It's very useful, just shows how good these two work together. I mean, part of it is just ARLECCHINO's power because, like I said, she hasn't even taken over a minute to clear a floor yet. So, you know, she is definitely a bit busted, but it's on to Chamber 3 now, and let's see how we do here. Now, the most annoying thing about this Abyss is that, you know, this chamber is going to have a little bit of AoE on it, which is, you know, not ideal. Now, you know, we will once again go for a rotation here. I will be using the ulti just to make sure that I can heal a little bit. It would have been nice if I could have caught the particles on Bennett, but it won't really make much of a difference. Just making sure these guys group together because, oh, okay, we hit our first 100k there, which is very nice. And we still have some Bond of Life for the next rotation. So even though we're not in Bennett's ult, you know, we can still do a lot of damage to these guys, and we have basically cleared the first 2 waves in about 30 seconds-ish. And what's going to be useful is that ARLECCHINO's going to get the Bond of Life here, so we're going to have a lot for the next guys with spawn in, as well as still being in Bennett's burst. So, you know, we can hit nice 82k, 75ks. It's just very useful damage, you know, both Bennett buffing both our ARLECCHINO and both Bennett and Kazuha buffing our ARLECCHINO and xiangling, as well as xiangling being able to buff ARLECCHINO with constellations, you know, the reduced resistances from Guoba, as well as the pyro damage from C6, which is very nice. You know, we're hitting a lot of like near 90k hits. Okay, never mind, those are 16k hits from xiangling's ult. Never mind, I thought those were like 160k hits. I was gonna freak. This was the first chamber though, which took us over a minute on ARLECCHINO. That did take us about 67 seconds, but you know, 67 seconds, 48 was it, and then 30 seconds. Yeah, ARLECCHINO's kind of busted. Now the thing is, luckily, although this isn't a free-to-play build for ARLECCHINO, she can very easily achieve this with free-to-play builds. I will touch on that a little bit more towards the end of the episode, but yeah, basically what we're doing here is we are saving our Cookie's util until he gets his cryo shield up. Furina was able to handle the pyro shield by herself, and now we are just going to try to do a little bit of damage to this guy. It would be nice if we can still have our skill up. Okay, yeah, basically we can now start our rotation, where we are now going to go into Yaoyao, and then Alhaitham ult into Kuki E to break the shield. And now we get to do a lot of damage to him just before he gets his Electro Shield. And then we're just able to carry on the rotation. Obviously the teleport here is slightly annoying, but like I said, we can mostly just carry on the rotation and not care about that. And you know, that's sort of the rotation you're going to be looking for here. You are going to be relying on your furina to break the Pyro Shield once again. Like so basically, and then we can go back into Yaoyao for a bit more healing. You know, this isn't necessary, but this is just a precaution because this guy can hit very hard and there's not much for me to do at the moment. Okay, maybe it was been... actually, no, we're fine. Yeah, we can start up our rotation here once again, basically. And then just hope for another proc quick. Okay, we did waste a few mirrors, but it's fine. We will still be able to clear pretty easily for the most part. So, yeah, okay, like I said, the TP is annoying, but it doesn't really change much. And we are able to clear with about 10-ish seconds left. Okay, maybe 5. But yeah, there you have it. We are able to clear all of floor 12 first try with our ARLECCHINO and ALHAITHAM teams. So yeah, like I said, very strong teams, very usable, and pretty easy to play as well. They have quite a lot of utility. Obviously, you can swap out kazuha for someone like xiangling on the ARLECCHINO team for extra comfort. And then the ALHAITHAM team, I mean, you already have healing in Kuki and Yaoyao. You could replace that with a prototype Amber, Nahida, or a Baiju, or, you know, basically whatever. Or a Xingqiu for damage reduction and a little bit of healing and interruption resistance. You know, there's just so many teams you can do with these. ALHAITHAM and ARLECCHINO are two of the most versatile DPS, I would say, when it comes to the team variants. So, yeah, with that being said, I will now move on to the character builds and the end of the video. So I will see you guys in a second. Alright, well, that's the Abyss runs over, and it's time to move on to the character builds. Now, I have already mentioned my ARLECCHINO is on Jadewing Spear and is C1. However, we do have her on two-piece attack, which isn't ideal when running her with Bennett because we are severely going over the amount of attack we should have, so we are suffering from diminishing returns here. Although the pieces are fairly decent, which is why I kept them on, and I cannot farm her set for the life of me because I am just incredibly unlucky. And then her talents are also 8, 6, and 6. Also, if you want to see how terrible, I did 50 runs of her artifact domain, and they're on terrible. You can all see that in the last video on the channel. But yeah. Anyway, moving on to her build. Like I said, she's on 67 crit rate and 219 crit damage, which, you know, decent stats. But like I said, the set isn't amazing and the talents aren't fully leveled up. Now, just quickly going for our Bennett, you know, 250 ER just to make sure he gets his ult whenever he can. Sapwood for the ER and high base attack for his ult. And then Noblesse for even more attack on our ARLECCHINO. She's eating good. Would be nice to have C6 for the extra power damage bonus, but it's something special. C1 is the most important part. And then we do have his ult crowned. When it comes to our xiangling on 50 crit, but that becomes 62 with the cash on the ult. 117 crit damage, 250 ER. I would not go below 200 on xiangling because she is very greedy, and 250 is just a safe amount. Like I said, on the catch, on emblem, as you would expect. C6, so we do get the pyro res from C1, and the extra duration from C4, and the and the damage bonus from C6. And then also 2511 talents. Our kazuha is on 800 AM, which translates to, I don't remember, it's somewhere between 20 and 40 damage bonus. I honestly can't remember for the life of me. 22 crit just for a bit easier for Fav, and 172 ER. Like I said, on Fav, and Verdest, obvious reasons, C0 and triple crowned. When it comes to our ALHAITHAM, if I'm being honest, our ALHAITHAM isn't amazing. He is on 65 crit, 111 crit damage, 130 ER, which is especially important when you're running him with Yaoyao because he's so reliant on his burst. Around 500 EM, which is just a nice amount. On the Umbrella set, he is only on two-piece for EM though. You best believe me, I will be farming the Gilded Domain, the Gilded Strongbox when that comes out in 5.0, so you can expect a video on that in the future. C0 and Triple Crown. Our furina, on the other hand, 64 crit, 183 crit damage, 222 ER, since she is the solo Hydro there. Fav for extra particles for herself and for the others on the team. Built on Golden Troop, as you would expect. C0 and 2910 talents. And then not our Novelette, our Yaoyao here, you know, just kind of hit for the shielding and particles. On 30k max HP, on a level 40 Black Tassel, but the main part here is she is on Deepwood, which will reduce Danger Rusher to help our ALHAITHAM do more damage, and to help the Hyper Blooms also do more damage. And then speaking of Hyper Blooms, our Kuki, level 90 to max out Hyper Bloom damage, 900 EM, which is the most important part, plus the 150 we get from Gilded. Obviously, she is built for EM to make for over 1000 EM. And then we do also have Iron Sting level 70, but I'm lazy, and honestly, I don't need that much more EM. And then she is C4, so she does have the nice AoE increase from C1 and the increased duration from C2. 141 talents, but who cares about her talents? But yeah, that's it for today's video. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. Like I said, we will have a Blind Abyss video coming out in 2 days' time with a very F2P friendly ARLECCHINO build. We will also have a Oh yeah, more Spiral Abyss videos as well, just as I try out different teams in the Abyss. Quite a few Alecchino ones I would expect. Maybe I will do a damage comparison between a C1 Alecchino and a C0 Neuvillette just to see which is stronger, because they are probably the two best contenders, definitely both in the top 3. When it comes to Star Rail, we will also have a Pure Fiction video coming out soon, as well as the Memory of Chaos, which will follow that, and then we will also be doing summons for Bootil, and also we will be summoning for Clorind as well when she comes out. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you guys next time. See ya!